It was a hot summer day in Japan. August 12, 1985. Japan Airlines Flight 123 was ready to fly. It was a routine domestic flight. The plane was a Boeing 747. It was headed from Tokyo to Osaka. Hundreds of passengers were on board. They were excited to reach their destination. Families were going on holiday. Businessmen were going for meetings. Everything seemed normal. No one knew this flight would become a tragedy. The flight took off smoothly. It climbed to its cruising altitude. Passengers relaxed and enjoyed the journey. The flight attendants started the meal service. It was a typical flight. But 12 minutes after takeoff, something went terribly wrong. There was a loud bang. The plane shook violently. Passengers were thrown from their seats. Fear gripped everyone on board. The pilots struggled to control the plane. The pilots sent out a distress call. They reported a loss of cabin pressure. The plane was losing altitude rapidly. It was veering off course. Air traffic controllers tried to help the pilots. But the situation was critical. The plane was in a steep dive. It was heading towards the mountains. The pilots fought bravely to regain control. But it was too late. The loud bang was the sound of a pressure bulkhead failing. This bulkhead is a wall that separates parts of the plane. It keeps different air pressures stable. The bulkhead had failed due to a faulty repair 7 years earlier. A small crack had not been fixed properly. This crack grew over time. Finally, it broke open on that fateful day. When the bulkhead failed, it caused a rapid decompression. Air rushed out of the cabin. This damaged the vertical stabilizer. This is the tail fin of the plane. It helps to keep the plane balanced. Without a working stabilizer, the plane was impossible to control. It went into a series of uncontrolled climbs and dives. Inside the plane, panic set in. Oxygen masks dropped down. Passengers and crew put them on. They struggled to breathe in the thin air. The plane was tossed about like a toy. Luggage flew around the cabin. People were injured. The pilots continued to fight for control. They sent out mayday calls. They tried everything they could to stabilize the plane. The plane, now a broken bird in the sky, was heading towards the mountains. It crashed into Mount Takamagahara. It was a remote area about 100 kilometers from Tokyo. The impact was catastrophic. The plane broke into pieces. Fire engulfed the wreckage. The sound of the crash echoed through the mountains. Rescue teams rushed to the crash site. It was a difficult task. The terrain was treacherous. The wreckage was spread over a large area. The fire hampered rescue efforts. It took hours for rescuers to reach the site. They were met with a scene of utter devastation. Miraculously, 4 people survived the initial impact. They were all seated in the rear section of the plane. 2 were flight attendants. 2 were passengers, a mother and her daughter. Trapped in the wreckage, they waited for help. But the rescue was delayed. It took a long time to reach the crash site. The delay proved fatal. Only 4 survived the crash, but they succumbed to their injuries before help arrived. Section 4. Echoes of a Tragedy. The crash of Japan Airlines Flight 123 sent shockwaves across the globe. It remains the deadliest single aircraft accident in history. All 520 people on board lost their lives. The news left the world in mourning. Families and friends were devastated. The loss of life was immense. The crash had a profound impact on aviation safety. It led to changes in aircraft design and maintenance procedures. The investigation revealed serious flaws in the repair of the pressure bulkhead. It highlighted the importance of proper maintenance and inspection. The tragedy led to stricter regulations and improved safety protocols worldwide. Section 5. Remembering Flight 123. The crash of Japan Airlines Flight 123 serves as a stark reminder of the importance of aviation safety. It highlights the responsibility we share to prevent such tragedies. The lessons learned from this disaster continue to shape the aviation industry today. We remember the victims of Flight 123. We honor their memory by striving for the highest standards of safety in air travel. The tragedy reminds us that even in the face of disaster, human resilience and compassion shine through. The story of Japan Airlines Flight 123 is a tale of immense loss, but it is also a story of lessons learned and the enduring human spirit.